So today we're going to do Evo versus Astra. That's a shit introduction, should we try that one again? That was wank. Hello YouTube. Today we're doing Astra versus Evo.
Private roads.
Back
road in Mexico.
We're going to Mexico to do some draggy times. Yeah. So Evo 7, quite standard. Got an exhaust on. That's about it. VXR has
Standard, just exhaust.
and a decat. And a decat. So we're going to go
Not plugged in.
not plugged in. So we're going to do VXR versus Evo 7. Draggy time, so it's going to be official. So yeah, come join us. So guys, I'm going to do this video a little bit differently. I thought a voiceover at the end would be a better way of explaining the results and what I found than trying to actually do it whilst we're doing the polls. So the first thing we decided we were going to do was some 0 to 60s. Now, the Evo being 4-wheel drive and the VXR being front-wheel drive, it being about 2-3 degrees and being quite damp the roads, it wasn't really a very fair match. So we thought we'd try something a little bit different, and using the Draggy, we were going to do some 60 to 130 mile an hour pulls, and the results are quite well, see for yourself. So the Evo did the 60 to 130 mile an hour in 28.77 seconds. It was a valid run on the Draggy, so everything's above board. It was slightly going up bang, but again, I don't think that's going to make too much of a difference. So 60 to 70, 1.59, 60 to 80, 3.39, 60 to 90, 6.77, 60 to 100, 9.81. Now this is where things start really slowing down for the Evo. The 60 to 110 is 13.3 and the 60 to 120 is 20.7. Now that's an extra 7 seconds to do an extra 10 mile an hour over 110 mile an hour, which I was quite surprised. I thought there'd be a bit more power than that to try and push it past. This must be where wind resistance must really be starting to struggle with the Evo, but again, it's just a standard car, so it's one of them that there are a lot of upgrades we can do to try and really bring this down. But compared to the VXR, and the VXR completely smashes the Evo with a 60 to 130 time at 19.13 seconds verified. This blew me away. So the 60 to 70 is 1.36, 60 to 80, 3.55, 60 to 90, 5.56, 60 to 100, 7.81. Very consistent. It's just one gradual power all the way through it. Really consistent. 60 to 110, 60 to 120, 60 to 130. Again, 3 seconds a piece. It's very gradual, very good curve. Now, if I put these next to each other, you're able to see the results together. So the Evo did have more of an uphill than the VXR, but again, not to warrant the extra 8-9 seconds it took to get to 130. So between 60, 70, 80, 90 and 100 mile an hour, it's not a million miles off. It's when it goes from 100 onwards, you can really see where the Evo is starting to struggle. 60 to 100 time for the VXR is 7.8 compared to the Evo's 9.1. So now we're already 2 seconds dead ahead. And you can tell when we were pulling together, you could see how the VXR just accelerated and just left the Evo for dead. I know the VXR was quicker. So I've got a VXR myself. I know they are a quick car, but driving the Evo, they feel really quick, and I didn't think the VXR would leave me quite as it did. But anyway, so the 60 to 110, the 11.46 in the VXR to the 13.35 in the Evo. Again, it's 2 seconds. And now this is where the Evo seems to hit the wall. At 60 to 120, it's 20.75 seconds. Now at this point, the VXR is already doing over 130 mile an hour. Which only takes 19.1 seconds to get there. as the Evo is now struggling with another 8 seconds to do an extra 10 mile an hour from 120 to 130. So there's a lot of things that I need to be thinking about now with modification wise. I'm not sure whether to go down to the meth and bigger turbo route, the fully forged route. There's a lot I'm thinking modification wise, but this is not acceptable to have something VXR beat me by this margin. It's not good. So to make me feel better, I'd started doing a few 0 to 60 pulls, something that the Evo does incredibly well for a standard car. And the results, again, as expected, it's a quick car. Off the market is a very, very quick car. 0 to 60 in 5.3 seconds, quarter mile in 13.91. Now I've got to let everyone know that this is a standard car on standard street tyres on the street. This isn't a track, this isn't race prep, this isn't anything like that. So to do these kind of times in damp conditions, I think this is it just shows you what this car's all about. Again, the VXR didn't even attempt it, but I would estimate it's probably around, in this condition, around 8 seconds, maybe 8.5 seconds. It wouldn't do a quarter mile in less than 15 seconds in this weather. Different if it was dry. Like I said, my VXR, hopefully when the night is all fitted, will be doing 13, maybe 12 second quarter miles, but until then we'll have to just wait and see. But yeah, this is where the Evo shines. So for what it doesn't have in top speed, it definitely has off the mark in A to B. So I hope you enjoyed this short video of the VXR versus the Evo. The results for me were quite surprising. I didn't think the VXR would leave the Evo quite as it does, but what the Evo doesn't have in top speed, it makes up in handling and pulling off 0 to 60. So as usual, like, subscribe, comment below, and I'll see you in the next video.